Triathlon is expensive. It's 3 different sports, all with their own equipment. That's not even taking into account race day fees, travel expenses, fueling, and so many other things. It really all starts to add up. For those of you thinking about getting into triathlon but don't have thousands of pounds lying around, well, this video's for you. I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can do triathlon on a budget. On this channel, I'm documenting everything I'm learning throughout my triathlon journey. So if you're starting out in triathlon as well, make sure to subscribe for plenty more advice, tips and tricks, and just general triathlon content coming soon. So I've been doing triathlon for just over a year now, and recently I have been making a few upgrades to my current setups. However, when I first started, I was definitely keeping costs low as possible. I've always had a habit of trying new things, picking new hobbies up, but then kind of quitting them after a month or so. So I didn't want to jump into triathlon, spend loads of money on expensive gear when I didn't know if I was going to be sticking around with it after the race. And I definitely didn't have 10k to drop on a brand new bike and carbon plated shoes. So for my first 2 months of training and also my first race, I kept it simple and also really affordable. Here's exactly what I used and how much it cost. And later on in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I kept my costs so low, how to get a bike for under £200, and also where to spend your money on. So definitely stick around. So here's the breakdown, and let's start with the swim. Wetsuit cost me £40. Swimming trunks cost me £15. Goggles, £4. My pool and gym cost me £20 a month. Now onto the bike. So my road bike and helmet didn't cost me anything because I already had these. And then I did spend some money on accessories such as inner tubes, water bottles, a pump, and some other bits, and that roughly came to about £20. For the run, so my running shoes cost me £75, and for running clothes, I just used what I already had, so it didn't cost me anything. And now other things that you will probably need, so a fitness watch. This cost me £20. My race entry cost me £80. A race belt cost me £5. A nutrition and fueling for training and the race came to £30. A tri-suit cost me £20. And then membership for the year for a triathlon club cost me £30. And then swim lessons or coaching lessons with the triathlon club cost me £50. Right, so now it's time to break down this list and go through exactly how I made everything this cheap. Number 1, buy second hand. You really don't need the newest gear. My bike, goggles, wetsuit, tri-suit, and quite a few other things were all actually second hand, which meant that I wasn't spending £500 on a brand new wetsuit or 10 grand on a brand new top of the range bike. Every year there are tons of triathletes that are upgrading, so there's so many people that are selling some of their old equipment, some of their old bikes, and some of their old clothing, and there's nothing wrong with wearing a second-hand tri-suit. So some of the places that I found were best for this were Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, surprisingly, eBay, Gumtree, and also look on local triathlon and cycling clubs. And even better than all this, use what you already have, or maybe you know somebody who's an avid cyclist, see if they have any hand-me-down bib shorts that you could use or any jerseys. This will save you a lot of money in the long run. Number 2, don't stress about the bike. You don't need a TT bike. Some of you may already have a bike lying around, so I'd recommend starting on this. I was lucky enough to have a hand-me-down one from my dad, and I've used that for quite a long time. But before that, my first bike that I actually ever bought was from Facebook Marketplace for £100. It was an old Trek, but it did the job, and it lasted me, well, it lasted me until I sold it, so it definitely had its purpose. But what matters the most is making sure that you get a bike that actually fits you. So before you go and buy one, make sure to have a general look online for what size of a bike you should get. This is based on your height, and for example, I'm 6 foot, and I usually go for a size 56 bike or a large. Number 3, fueling. Yes, Morton gels have some incredible adverts that get you really pumped up and are sponsored by some amazing athletes out there, but when you're just starting out, you really don't need to be dropping £3 on one gel. It really is just a bit extreme. So firstly, you can get some really good cheap gels on Amazon. So for example, these High Five gels, I use these for my training rides. They taste really good, they're high in carbs, and I've never had any issues with them. So I'd recommend something like this. Alternatively, if gels aren't your thing and you really want some solid foods, instead of getting some of the solid bars and things from some of the expensive brands, maybe just make some homemade flapjack, or make a peanut butter sandwich, or maybe just have some bananas. Like, all of these are incredible substitutes for gels. Yes, a peanut butter sandwich is a little bit more bulky than a gel, so it might not be ideal for race day, but for your training, it's pretty ideal. And I've gone on plenty of longer rides with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich stuffed in my back, and it's pretty good. And just remember to focus on your fueling before, during, and after all training, and not just think about it for race day. Number 4, picking the right race. So yeah, Ironman's T100s, they look amazing. I've done them. It's a great experience, but boy, do they cost a lot. It's like £500 just to enter, and then you've got the travel. You might want to get there the day before. It really all starts to add up. So one thing I'd recommend doing is search your local races. There's one about an hour away from me that happens every year. It's really well organised. There's loads of great people. This year, Alistair and Johnny Brownlee were both there, giving their support. So you can really get some good bang for your buck races that are actually just local to you. Don't require loads of travel and just are a lot cheaper. Number 5, train smart and don't be fancy about it. Yeah, you could get a coach and you could go on these crazy expensive Mallorca training camps, but you really don't need to. There are tons of free training plans online, and when I started, I just used these. I had a look at a few of them, I followed one, made some adjustments, tailored it to what I wanted to do, what I was aiming for, and also how much I could actually train while doing a full-time job. Just make sure you're sticking to the basics and being consistent. Okay, and now where I would recommend actually spending your money. So number 1 is a good pair of running shoes. Some people might argue that you could buy a second-hand pair or a really cheap pair and it will get you by. And they're not wrong, it will. But I'd just say that running is the place where you're most likely to get injured. So investing a little bit more money, I'd say you don't need to spend any more than £100. These don't need to be carbon plated super shoes. I just recommend getting some new and just making sure that they work for you so that you avoid injury. My recommendation would be to go to a running shop that has a treadmill, and what you can do is they'll put you in a pair of running shoes, you can jump on the treadmill. They will then be able to video and watch your gait and how you run, and then recommend what type of shoe you need. Some people might need a more stability focused shoe and some people won't. And there are different shoes that will be tailored to different people. And another really good tip with buying running shoes is, instead of buying a brand new one, for example, the Asics Nova Blast 5 or 6 or whatever it's on, buy an older iteration of it. They're still going to be a really good shoe, it'll just be a lot cheaper. So my first running shoe was the Asics Nova Blast 3, and at the time I think they just released the Nova Blast 5, and I got it in the outlet and it was just, I think it was about half price. So I just saved a lot of money by buying an older version of the shoe. And another place to spend a bit of money, I'd really recommend joining a tri club. One of the best things about triathlon is the people that do it. I'm not gonna lie, like, some of the people that I've met through my triathlon club, you know, are friends and people that I see on a daily basis when I'm training now. And also some of the stories and knowledge that these people have will be just so much more than me or loads of other people on YouTube. They'll have been doing it for years and years and years. Mine is £30 for the year. I can then go to different sessions, so they always have a running track session, they have multiple swimming sessions on, they have open water sessions on, and a lot of these sessions will actually be coached. So you're going to be learning new things, they're going to be helping you improving technique in the pool and making you a better triathlete. So yeah, I'd really recommend spending a little bit more money doing this because it helped me improve massively. So now for the big reveal. How much did it all cost? So I spent roughly £409 to train and complete my first triathlon. And guess what? I didn't come last. I had a great time. Nothing went wrong. And from that moment, I was hooked into the sport. Now, I do understand that I didn't need to actually buy a bike when I first started out, including a few other things that I just had or were hand-me-downs. So I've also calculated the total cost that I believe it would have been if I was looking for a budget bike and some other second-hand equipment. And that total is, drumroll please, £550. To be honest, this can even be less. This includes joining a tri club, having swim lessons at the tri club, and some of the little things that you don't actually need for the race. So to be honest, you could do it on a budget under £500, which, to say you're taking up basically 3 different sports, isn't that expensive realistically. And you're also getting a race fee included in that. So although I do understand that triathlon might be intimidating and might seem expensive, it's definitely a sport that you can do on a budget, not breaking the bank. If you're starting out in triathlon or this video has helped you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe below. And let me know in the comments what you guys are training for, if there's any races specifically, or if there's any other advice that you want me to cover.